Hello and welcome to the Season 2 finale of Nightfall, the AI-written and voice-acted crossover adventure. I'm Nefotosan, and in this chapter we'll be joining Pinkie Pie and Angel Dust in order to see what they got up to following the big battle with the Nightmare King. These two are the only character pairing from this season who didn't really interact in Season 1, but I put them together for a couple of reasons. One is that neither of them really had a better partner, in my mind, but also there was just this brief line in Season 1 where Angel seemed to be the only character who was concerned about Pinkie Pie while she was missing. So anyway, here we go with our Season 2 finale. After leaving the monastery, Angel Dust caught up with Pinkie Pie to see how she was doing. He'd heard that she'd been through a lot.
"He's gone,"
said Pinkie Pie.
"He's gone and I am free."
"How are you feeling?"
asked Angel Dust. Pinkie Pie smiled.
"I'm feeling just fine."
"Good,"
said Angel Dust.
"He's coming back. We need to stall him until he gets here."
"No,"
said Pinkie Pie.
"he's not coming back."
"The hell he's not,"
shouted Angel Dust.
"We need to stall him until..."
"He isn't coming,"
said Pinkie Pie.
"Do you hear me? I said he's gone and I'm free."
"He's not,"
said Angel Dust.
"I see his corpse,"
said Pinkie Pie. She pointed to the Nightmare King's body hanging limply in the trees.
"He's not dead,"
said Angel Dust.
"He is too."
said Pinkie Pie.
"No, he isn't.
said Angel Dust.
That's just some mortal body, barely more than a puppet. The true tyrant behind the Nightmare King still lurks yet."
"I guess we need to stall him then."
said Pinkie Pie.
"Let's play a game."
"Hide and seek."
asked Angel Dust.
"Yes!"
said Pinkie Pie.
"We'll each take a turn.
said Angel Dust.
You take the first one and I'll take the next one, and so
"Okay.
said Pinkie Pie, taking the first turn.
Where will we hide?"
we'll hide in the old Nightfall graveyard."
said Angel Dust.
"Perfect.
said Pinkie Pie.
Let's do it."
The two of them hurried to the old Nightfall graveyard, each taking a side. They raced to the headstones and began looking for a place to hide.
"I found us a place."
said Pinkie Pie.
"Come on."
She led the way to a flat stone at the base of a tree. She jumped up onto the stone and stood still. Angel Dust climbed up beside her.
"Now what?"
asked Pinkie Pie.
"Now what?"
asked Angel Dust.
"We wait."
"What for?"
asked Pinkie Pie.
"You'll see soon enough."
said Angel Dust. The graveyard was silent, aside from the occasional soft coo from a mourning dove. The wind slowly swept through the scattered clouds. A soft breeze rustled the leaves of the trees.
"Do you think he'll come looking for us?"
asked Pinkie Pie.
"If he does, he's not going to find us."
"Why is that?"
asked Pinkie Pie.
"Because we're going to stay right here."
said Angel Dust, pointing to the grave of their friend.
"What?"
said Pinkie Pie.
"The Nightmare King is the reason why we're in this miserable situation. If we remove him, all this will be forgiven."
"He's the kids of the blight."
said Pinkie Pie.
"How are we supposed to get rid of him without getting rid of the blight?"
"We can't.
said Angel Dust.
"Damn right we can't."
said Pinkie Pie.
If we stay here and wait for him to return, then he'll need to take the body to the Nightmare Realm to complete the ritual. By the time the blight will be gone, and we'll be able to return to the day-to-day living."
"I still don't like it."
said Pinkie Pie.
"We don't have a choice.
said Angel Dust.
We're going to have to wait."
"Fine."
said Pinkie Pie, crossing her arms.
"Fine."
said Angel Dust, sighing. The sun slowly began to sink in the sky. The graveyard was bathed in the dying sunlight. The two companions stood in silence, staring at the gravestones. The twilight slowly faded into night. The two companions remained still. A cricket chirped softly, a cricket far removed from the Nightmare Realm. A soft rustling sounded from a nearby grave. Both spun in their tracks.
"What was that?"
asked Pinkie Pie, her eyes wide.
"I heard nothing."
said Angel Dust. The two stood in silence as the soft rustling grew louder. A grave began to quake beneath the skeleton's rusted armor. The skeleton toppled over and broke into 1,000 pieces.
"Look!"
cried Pinkie Pie. The two ran over to a nearby grave and looked down into the opened mouth of the skeleton, which was in fact a dragon.
"Well,
asked the dragon's skull.
"Well, what?"
you heard me, didn't you?"
The dragon roared as it awoke from its millennia-long slumber. It stared up at the two companions with blazing eyes.
"How did you?"
Stammered Pinkie Pie.
"How did the Nightmare King become the Nightmare King?"
Asked the dragon in a deep voice.
"I'll tell you.
"Tell me."
Said Angel Dust.
The Nightmare King used to be a prophet of the sun goddess of the day. He was worshipped by the people of the realm. He was worshipped by the people of the night to be a prophet of this of my king, the sons. He worshipped the
That doesn't make any sense.
realm was in darkness. The people needed a sun. People needed a sun.
But they wouldn't have worshipped a man like him.
They worshipped the sun goddess, not the prophet. The sun goddess was an idol. The Nightmare King took her place and ruled by the lights of the moon.
The dragon roared, awakening more skeletons from their graves. They began to rise, slowly, carefully, and with trembling hands.
He studied the tombs of the Nightmare Realm and used their power to bring light into the world without the blessing of the sun or the moon.
"That's preposterous!"
Said Pinkie Pie.
"The realm was in darkness until the Nightmare King came along. How does this matter?"
Because you are a descendant of the people of the realm, and as such you've got blood of the gods in your veins. That's why you are immune to the darkness. You are a half-sun god. Half-moon god.
That's impossible!
said Pinkie Pie.
You're a monster!
Might the people of the moon goddess would worship a monster? I think not. I think they'd see that she's a god in truth.
I don't know what to say!
Said Pinkie Pie, taken aback.
Say the ritual. You've got the blood of the moon goddess in you. Say the ritual. And be done with it.
You want me to?
Yes.
Said the dragon.
You've proven yourself worthy of my blood. Now, you are one of the few who can take down the Nightmare Tyrant. Prove yourself worthy of my blood.
The dragon stared up at the sky, its great burning eye, the eye of the sun god, the eye of the moon god, the eye of the Nightmare King.
The Nightmare Tyrant used the ambitions of the Nightmare King to corrupt this world, who spread the Nightmare realm into our world. He'd been trained for so long, but he finally found someone both foolish enough and powerful enough to allow him to achieve his goal.
The dragon's eye burned in the night sky, and a shadow passed over the graveyard, a shadow of wings, a shadow of claws.
The world has been broken ever since. The four kings scattered into hiding. The goddesses wept and hid from the world. Who even knows if they still yet live?
A black dragon swooped down from the sky and landed in the graveyard. No, it was an illusion, created by the Nightmare Realm. A great black shape stared at the two companions.
You've heard the terms of might. Power. Haven't you?
Asked the black dragon.
No! I don't understand!
Yes.
Said the dragon, smiling.
You get one answer. One answer only. Yes or no?
Yes!
Good, say the ritual.
The ritual!
Again.
The ritual!
Good, very well.
The two companions looked up at the dragon.
Say it.
Murmured the dragon. The girl hesitated.
The ritual?
She whispered. The dragon roared, and the ground began shaking. The grave shook, and the skeleton stood up.
No, the darkness.
The great beast opened its maw and let out a roar. Lightning crackled, and the sky grew dark as if a curtain had been drawn. The earth began shaking, and rocks blasted.
No. The goddess of the moon.
A shadow rose over them, and a great clawed hand shot down and wrapped itself around them. The ground gave way, and darkness began to swallow the two.
No, the shadow of wings.
A shadow, black as night, loomed over them, and a voice rumbled, a voice deep as the night itself.
Let the darkness take you, my dears. Let the darkness take you.
The ground burst open, and a silver-haired woman leapt from it. She stared at the dragon, her eyes sparkling in the moonlight. The dragon stared back. The woman's eyes narrowed, and she stepped forward.
Dragon, do you wish to relinquish your power into this pony?
The woman asked. The dragon gave a roar, and the woman's eyes widened in shock.
Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Ida.
Ida.
Said the dragon.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. We all assumed you were consumed by the Nightmare Tyrant.
I thought you might like that name. It's a beautiful name, and it means a star. It's like the star that shines on the sky. But you can call me Ida.
I am a dragon.
Said the dragon.
I'm what remains of the Black Fang.
I know.
Said Ida.
You're the last heir of the Black Fang, the true king of the Black Fang. That is why I seek the power of the moon goddess.
Where are you seeking the power of the moon goddess? Where are you seeking the power of the moon goddess?
I don't know. How about you? Why are you seeking the power of the moon goddess?
I don't want power. I have plenty of that already.
The dragon replied.
I want a pony.
The dragon roared in response, and the skeletons of the graveyard splintered under his power. His essence rose up, blotting out the light of the moon, before pouring into Pinkie Pie. The moon's power rose up within her, and she rose up, smiling.
Oh, this feels good!
She said. Ida watched her carefully as the power coursed through her small pink body. It was a power she'd once thought lost. Until recently, she thought a great many things lost that had now been found.
You have power, little one.
Said Ida.
I can see that. You're the Black Fang's daughter now. He was a powerful man.
What?
Asked Pinkie Pie.
Is he dead?
Ida laughed, and her laughter sounded like bells.
The Black Fang were a tribe who worshipped both the sun and the moon. The Nightmare Tyrant consumed both the moon and sun gods in his quest for power.
She explained.
I'm relieved to see some of their power still exists in this world. The king of the Black Fang must have been keeping their power hidden all this time.
You sound disappointed?
Said Pinkie Pie.
I am not disappointed.
Said Ida.
I am worried.
Why?
Asked Pinkie Pie.
The Nightmare Tyrant will seek to consume you too, if he finds out you're a god.
Consume me!
Yes, the Nightmare Tyrant seeks to consume all the power in the world.
Said Ida.
His hunger knows no limits, and so he spreads the Nightmare realm further and further still.
What can we do?
Angel Dust asked. Ida's eyes narrowed.
We must reach Castle Oblivion before the Nightmare Tyrant. He won't be looking for either of you.
The two friends galloped through the night, heading towards the Castle Oblivion. Ida rode close to them on a magical staff.
It's going to be a long journey.
She said as they traversed the nightmare landscape. The journey would not be easy, but it had to be done. And that's where we'll leave off for now. We'll meet back up with this group later in Season 3, but I figured that the image of them riding off together was kind of a compelling closing scene. I'm grateful that the AI described the dragon's voice as deep, allowing me to cast him with the James Earl Jones voice that I've been using for this random deep voice that keeps speaking to characters throughout this season, which kind of inadvertently allowed me to wrap up that recurring element pretty nicely, I think. They also gave us the last of our quote-unquote 4 kings, which was mentioned in earlier chapters, I believe. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with this as a season finale, even if it's not like a big battle with a big bad like last season was. As for Season 3, we're going to kick it off by joining up with a group of main characters who we didn't really spend any time with this season, that being Fluttershy and her allies that kind of closed off Season 1. Season 3 is going to be a more continuous linear story, I think with less jumping around. We may see less characters that way, or have less opportunities for characters to come in, but I think we'll in exchange get like a more narrative approach to things as we come to kind of ahead with the Nightmare Tyrant stuff. For now, thank you for watching. It may be a bit before Season 3's first chapter comes out, but I do hope to get the marathon cut of Season 2, as well as the soundtrack for this season, up on the channel pretty soon. If you happened to not see the previous episode, though, here's a little clip of what you missed. She came to a long hallway that was much wider than the others. It went on for as long as the eye could see, and was filled with machinery. Computers and displays were built into the walls, every few feet.
What is this place?
This is my domain. This is where my workers live. This is where I conduct my experiments.
Dash had no idea what that meant, but she didn't ask. She just kept walking.
Don't touch anything.
The fairy said,
Everything in here is dangerous.
Why?
Well, take that lever there, for instance. It could be a bomb. And so... or a collision sensor or anything. Touch anything.
Okay.